Right now, there's a good chance one of these 7 tablets is sitting in your nightstand ready for you to go watch online. Here are 7 tablet brands that major cybersecurity firm, the FBI, and the FTC have all confirmed come with problems built in before the box was ever opened. Ranging from a backdoor buried in the firmware to a children's privacy law violation that cost one company $25 million, here's what makes this one worth sitting through to the end. The malware story on this list isn't old news dug up for a slow week. It was publicly disclosed 6 months before this video, and as of the most recent research, it's still spreading. This isn't a problem that got fixed quietly while nobody was paying attention. It's happening right now. And this list is a little different from the others in this series in one important way. It's not just one type of failure repeated 7 times. You're going to see a hidden firmware backdoor, a federal children's privacy settlement, and a national security restriction from the US government, all in the same 7-item list. That variety matters because it means this isn't one company's bad decision. It's an entire category of device where corners get cut in a lot of different directions at once. Before we get into it, if this is useful to you, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new here, because I break down exactly this kind of thing every single week. The stuff hiding inside devices sold as the safe, budget-friendly choice. We're counting down 7 tablet brands, by name, backed by a major cybersecurity firm's own research, federal settlements, and national security findings. And stick around to the end, because after the 7, I'm giving you 2 tablets we'd actually trust to hand to a kid, a student, or ourselves. Let's start with number 7. At number 7, Budget Tablets, Badbox 2.0 Infected. These doesn't have a single brand name attached to it because it isn't one company's mistake. It's an entire category. Cheap, generic Android tablets sold under dozens of unfamiliar names, all infected by the same botnet, called Badbox 2.0. The bait is the price tag, plain and simple. A full tablet often marketed for a child's schoolwork or as an entertainment device for a road trip for a fraction of what a recognized brand charges. Here's the mechanic. The FBI and Google jointly confirmed that Badbox 2.0 has infected more than 1 million devices across 222 countries and territories, most of them cheap, uncertified tablets and similar gadgets manufactured in China. The malware doesn't need you to click anything. It arrives already installed, and the moment the tablet connects to Wi-Fi, it quietly reaches out to command and control servers that direct it to commit ad fraud, route criminal traffic through your home network, or download additional malicious code. The tell is something the FBI specifically told consumers to watch for. If Google Play Protect is disabled or missing entirely, if the device came from a brand you don't recognize and can't find much information about, or if your home internet starts behaving oddly even when nobody's actively using it, that's the pattern this exact botnet leaves behind. The cost here is that your own home network becomes part of someone else's crime. Investigators had described these infected devices being used to sell access to residential IP addresses, meaning a stranger's illegal activity can end up tracing back to your home address, using bandwidth you're paying for. You won't believe what's coming up next, because these next few entries actually do have names, all caught by the same piece of research at the same time. Number 6. AllVW, Blue, Decode, Doogie, Gigaset, Gionee, and Ulefone. And this is 7 brands at once, all flagged by the same cybersecurity investigation, which tells you this isn't a one-off manufacturing accident. The bait across all 7 is nearly identical to entry number 7, affordable tablets, decent specs on paper, sold widely through general online marketplaces rather than dedicated electronics retailers. Here's the mechanic. Security firm Sophos identified a firmware-level backdoor called Keenadu, embedded across nearly 50 different tablet models from these 7 manufacturers. As of March 2006, Sophos' own telemetry had logged over 500 confirmed infected devices spread across 40 countries. Keenadu isn't a rogue app you can just delete. It's built into a core Android system library that every single app on the device has to use to function, meaning the backdoor effectively runs inside every app you open. The tell is where the research came from. This wasn't a tip from a disgruntled employee or a lucky guess. It came from a major cybersecurity firm's own threat hunting telemetry, actively watching for exactly this kind of firmware-level compromise, and it found 7 different manufacturers making the same mistake at the same time. The cost is what the backdoor actually does once it's active. Researchers found it capable of harvesting data from other apps on the device and downloading additional malicious modules on command, all while running with a level of system access an ordinary app could never legally request. I'm sure you've seen budget tablet brands like this before without ever registering the name, because the next two got caught by the exact same investigation, on the exact same day. At number 5, Headwolf and AlphaWolf, two more budget tablet brands caught by the exact same Keenadu investigation, bundled together here because of what happened next. The bait is, once again, the price-to-spec ratio that makes budget Android tablets so tempting in the first place, positioned as a real alternative to spending 3 or 4 times as much on a name-brand device. Here's the mechanic. Both companies were confirmed affected by the Keenadu backdoor alongside the 7 brands from the previous entry. What sets them apart is what happened after they got caught. The tell is the response timeline. On February 27, 2026, both Headwolf and AlphaWolf released public statements on the exact same day, each confirming the issue and promising a patch delivered through an over-the-air update in early March. On the surface, that looks like exactly the right response. Acknowledge it, fix it, move on. The cost is what the broader Keenadu investigation found happening elsewhere in this exact same product category. Kaspersky's own researchers documented a case where a different affected manufacturer released update after update that was supposed to fix the exact same backdoor, and the backdoor kept coming back anyway. 2 companies promising a same-day fix on the same day is a good sign. Whether that fix actually held is worth checking yourself before trusting it, because as you're about to hear, at least one manufacturer in this exact story promised the same thing and didn't deliver. This next one might be the one you least expect, because it's the flagship case this entire malware family gets its reputation from. Number 4, AldoCube. The manufacturer whose name comes up first in nearly every report written about this entire malware family, because its device is the one where researchers could prove exactly how long the problem had been sitting there. The bait is the same as everything else on this list so far. A capable, full-featured tablet, priced to compete directly with far more expensive brands, widely available through major online marketplaces. Here's the mechanic. Kaspersky traced infected firmware on the AldoCube iPlay 50 Mini Pro all the way back to August 18, 2023. In March 2024, after a customer reported a suspicious update, AldoCube publicly acknowledged what it called a virus attack through OTA software, suggesting its own update servers had been compromised. Here's the real story, and it's worse than a single bad update. Kaspersky continued monitoring AldoCube's firmware after that public acknowledgement. Every single subsequent version they checked, including the company's most recent release, still contained the Keenadu backdoor. AldoCube eventually sent Kaspersky new firmware specifically to verify it was finally clean, and Kaspersky confirmed those particular versions were. But that only happened after roughly 2.5 years of infected firmware shipping to real customers, through a company that had already publicly admitted there was a problem. The tell here isn't hidden in a technical report. It's the gap between what the company said and what its own products kept doing afterward, update after update, for years. The cost is trust, more than anything else. A company can survive one bad breach if it responds quickly and completely. What's harder to explain away is telling customers the problem is fixed while continuing to ship the exact same infected firmware for years afterward. If a company's own public apology doesn't match what its own products were still doing on the shelf, that gap is worth remembering the next time that same company issues a reassuring statement. I'm sure you've bought something from this next company without realizing it, because this one isn't hiding in the tablet itself. It's hiding in the voice assistant built into it. At number 3, Amazon's Fire tablets, specifically the Kids Edition models, and this entry is different from everything else on this list, because the problem here isn't malware at all. It's Amazon's own voice assistant built directly into the device. The bait is Amazon's trusted mainstream reputation, plus a tablet marketed specifically as safe and parent-controlled, built for kids from the ground up. Here's the mechanic. Fire Kids tablets come with Alexa built in, and in May 2023, Amazon agreed to a $25 million settlement with the FTC and the Department of Justice over how that exact voice assistant handled children's data. According to the government's complaint, Amazon retained children's voice recordings indefinitely by default, going back to at least May 2018, and kept sensitive geolocation data as well. The tell is what happened when parents tried to do something about it. The complaint specifically alleges that Amazon prevented parents from exercising their legal right under federal children's privacy law to have their child's data deleted, sometimes ignoring those requests entirely while continuing to retain the recordings. The cost was that $25 million civil penalty, along with a court order requiring Amazon to overhaul its deletion practices entirely and implement real privacy safeguards going forward. The FTC's own Director of Consumer Protection put it bluntly in the announcement, saying Amazon's practices sacrificed privacy for profit. Think about what that actually means for a parent who bought this exact tablet specifically because it was labeled as the safe, kid-friendly option. The marketing promised protection. The government's own complaint says what actually happened was the opposite for years before anyone made them stop. This next one might surprise you, because it's not a budget brand hiding in the corner of a marketplace listing. It's sitting on store shelves next to the biggest names in tech. Number 2, Lenovo Tab, a mainstream, widely available tablet brand that most people would never think twice about buying, which is exactly the problem. The bait is legitimacy. Lenovo isn't an unfamiliar name from a marketplace listing. It's a recognized, established electronics brand, actively recommended in mainstream buying guides right alongside the biggest names in tablets. Here's the mechanic. Roughly 32.5% of Lenovo is owned by Legend Holdings, a company substantially linked to the Chinese Academy of Sciences, a state-backed research institution. That ownership structure is the reason Lenovo products are currently banned from use on State Department and Department of War networks. The tell goes back further than you'd expect. In 2013, intelligence agencies across the Five Eyes Alliance, the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, banned Lenovo hardware from their intelligence networks entirely after MI5 identified actual backdoors and vulnerable firmware in Lenovo products. In 2008, the US Marine Corps discovered Lenovo laptops in Iraq were transmitting data back to China and pulled them from use immediately. None of that is ancient history nobody remembers. It's the specific reason the restriction on government networks still exists today. The cost is the gap between what governments quietly do and what's sitting on a store shelf for everyone else. The exact devices multiple national security agencies won't allow anywhere near a government network are at the same time being actively marketed to families and recommended in ordinary consumer buying guides, without any of that history mentioned anywhere on the box. And now, the one I've saved for last, because unlike every other entry on this list, you actually can't walk into a store and buy this one. Taking the number 1 spot, Huawei, and this entry works differently from the 6 before it, because Huawei tablets aren't officially sold in the United States at all. That's not an accident. It's the direct result of the same story that puts this brand at number 1. The bait, for anyone outside the US who might see one, is genuinely strong specs at a competitive price, the same pitch that's made Huawei one of the largest electronics manufacturers in the world. Here's the mechanic. In May 2019, the US government added Huawei to the Commerce Department's entity list, based on findings that the company posed a significant risk to national security. Any Huawei device released after that point lost access to Google's software and services entirely, and US companies were barred from doing business with Huawei without a special license. That restriction is still active in 2026. The tell is why this matters even if you'll never see one in a store. Huawei's tablets are confined almost entirely to markets in Europe and Asia specifically because US retailers can't carry them under current law. But that hasn't stopped resellers from importing units and selling them anyway, on general marketplaces, sometimes without making the origin obvious. The same national security concerns that kept Huawei off official shelves don't disappear just because a device crossed the ocean in someone's suitcase instead of a retailer's shipping container. The cost is worth naming plainly. This is the one entry on this list where an entire branch of the US government looked at the evidence and decided the safest answer wasn't a warning label. It was an outright restriction. That's a different category of concern than a bug that got patched late. That's all 7. Take a breath, because now we're flipping this completely. Here are the 2 tablets we'd actually trust with this exact job. Wait before we continue. Every brand you just heard about has one thing in common. Once your data's out there, whether it's leaked through a backdoor or handed over in a settlement nobody asked for, you usually don't find out until something's already gone wrong. Coveron fixes that gap. It's built by the same team behind NordVPN, and it watches the dark web around the clock for your email, your social security number, your card numbers, and alerts you the second any of it shows up somewhere it shouldn't. If something does happen, you're not on your own. Coveron backs you with up to $2 million in identity theft coverage and a real recovery specialist who walks you through fixing it. Try it risk-free with Coveron's 30-day money-back guarantee. Check the link in the description if you're interested. Now, let's go back to the safe choices. Here's the good news, buried under everything you just heard. You don't need 7 different fixes for 7 different tablets. You need one decision about which ecosystem you buy into, and almost everything on this list stops applying to you. Safe choice 1, iPad. No malware history, no ownership ties to anything on this list, and no deceptive marketing claims that later fell apart under investigation. Apple's closed hardware and software ecosystem has consistently made it a harder target for the kind of firmware-level supply chain attack that hit every Android brand on this list. And nothing in this research turned up a reason to say otherwise. Safe choice 2, Google Pixel Tablet. Worth being straightforward about this one, because we're not going to pretend it's perfect just because it's on the safe list. Security researchers have found real vulnerabilities in Pixel hardware over the past couple of years, including a firmware flaw and a dock security issue. Here's the difference that actually matters. Those were found by outside researchers, reported through Google's official channels, and fixed through routine security updates. That's the opposite of what you just heard about AldoCube, where a company kept shipping infected firmware for years after publicly admitting there was a problem. A device having a vulnerability isn't automatically disqualifying. What matters is whether the company fixes it or lets it ride. One habit worth carrying forward no matter which tablet you buy, before you hand a device to a kid, or trust it with anything sensitive yourself, search the brand name alongside the words backdoor or settlement. As you heard with AldoCube, a company's own public statement isn't proof the problem actually went away. That 7 tablet brands actively tied to a firmware backdoor still spreading as of this year, an FTC settlement over children's data, and a national security restriction from the US government, backed by a major cybersecurity firm's own research and the federal government's own complaints, and 2 tablets we'd actually trust to hand to a kid, a student, or ourselves. The scariest part of this story isn't the backdoor itself. It's how ordinary these tablets look sitting in a shopping cart, priced to seem like the smart, responsible choice for a parent trying not to overspend on a device their kid is just going to drop anyway. Nobody buying one of these 7 set out to make a bad decision. They set out to save money on something practical, and that's exactly the instinct this entire category of device is built to exploit. If this made you think twice about the tablet in your kid's backpack or your own bag, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me which of these 7 you own, or if you've already made the switch to something safer. Share this with any parent, teacher, or student in your life who might be shopping for a budget tablet this year. Subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because this exact malware campaign is still active, and I'll be right here breaking down what changes the moment it does. Stay sharp, stay safe, and watch the next videos.